Another question we had was, what is the difference between the YouTube and Vimeo user demographics? I mean, obviously there's a bit of size there, but can you comment on it?
Got to say apologies, I'm not across the Vimeo demographics.
Does anyone know?
They're probably cooler. These people will use Vimeo, I'm sure. Look at them. Okay. What's the future for network-driven iView, etc. interaction in this social space? Who's doing it right? Maybe that's probably a better question asked. What excites you in the social video space?
A model that I find quite interesting is a company called, there's a few in the States. One's Revision 3, the other one's Next New Networks. So they raised, I think, about $30 million of VC a few years ago. And one of the guys that set it up, Tim Shea, was an original producer at Rocket Boom, which was a big viral video on YouTube back in 2006 and 2007. Anyway, Next New Networks basically is a model where it's like a TV channel, but just for online. So they have 16 programs. They basically scout the internet, scout YouTube to find people who are doing good shows anyway. Say, hey, you know, you're doing it for free. Why don't we give you a little bit of money or fly you over to New York and produce your program here? And they do, and then they basically go and sell advertising for that. I mean, they've had over 1 billion people view content through the platform. So, yeah, we think it's really exciting at Portable, and we're actually bringing some of the guys out in Melbourne a fortnight from now. So there's my gratuitous plug for the night. So if you go to Portable TV, you can see the links to it. But the reason that we are bringing them out is that we think this is a really interesting model in a different way. Like, they'll put a video and get 3.5 million views straight up. There you're looking at producing content. But what I think is interesting is that then they've all got their ad machine there, and you know, Portable's got an office in New York, and we're based out of their offices, and they're just cranking, they're just going nuts. Like, it's just a really good, lucrative model.
For me, the exciting area is the APIs around video ingest into websites and syndication to other websites. Who's encoded some video here? It's boring, isn't it? Right? And you get it wrong, and it's long, yeah, and it's just hard. And the other problem is that from a corporate perspective or a government perspective, you know, the website, you want it to be in a Flash format, but the intranet, because it's on SharePoint, it's got to be in a Windows Media format, and then you want it to go on the iPhones, it's got to be .mov, and you know, it's not conversions, it's diversions. So where we see a lot of growth is the APIs, where we can ingest big batches of content, which are all metadated and segmented, or the auto ingest into a site. A good example is what we do with ComSec. We all see Tom Petrovsky do his 2-minute piece on the news at night. That content is straight away put into an FTP site. Our API goes in and pulls it, encodes it, and publishes it on the web as a Flash file automatically, and on the iPhone app as a .mov automatically. Combank don't do a thing, and within an hour that piece of broadcast content is cross-platform on web and mobile. And they love that, because especially a financial analysis report, it's the sort of stuff you do want to consume while you're waiting for your meeting, or waiting for the bus, or waiting for the tram. So that's where we see a lot of the deals being made, letting the APIs do all the work for you.
Certainly in terms of social, what I find very exciting at the moment is seeing the YouTube celebrities. As I said before, nothing stands alone, and YouTube celebrities crossing over into the mainstream. There's a guy from Nebraska who has millions of following. He's going to be at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival this month, and Fred, who has an audience, probably teenage girls. He is having a full-length movie on Viocorp on the Nickelodeon channel, which is going to be released. So really exciting to see how platforms can cross over and push people across into the mainstream as well.
So I'm really wanting to ask, how much is Double Rainbow Guy worth?
What a great video though. I'd like to be as happy as he is.
Can you give us some kind of indication what 1 million views is worth?
No, I mean, it depends on what your content is, it depends on who your audience is. Sorry.
Sorry, all right. Does anybody have a Yelly question? Lucio, you do.
I guess one of the big failures I've been seeing when it comes to video and a video format is, okay, let's produce this great content, let's produce this nice video, and it seems everyone is failing when it comes to seeding, and okay, let's build up this audience. In a practical sense, you three are experts on this area. What is the best piece of advice when it comes to seeding in video?
How do you start the video?
How to kick off?
First, it's probably good to analyse the content. I think a lot of people think they've got good content, but really the market does decide some ways too. And I think the point that Sis made for is a good one. I mean, there is a lot of video that gets put up every single minute, and it's such a competitive space to be able to talk within. But I think especially as we're seeing links within social media is definitely really important. So getting out to those communities that are there. I mean, I don't think I'm going to tell you anything you don't already know, and you probably know far better than I do. These guys might choose differently, but I mean, just spending some time strategically thinking who will find this engaging, and then getting in front of them, and then seeing if they do find it engaging. There's enough sharing mechanisms within any of these platforms to get it out there. It's not like you technically need to do anything special. You just need to have good content, and I think you let the other people be the arbiter where you've got good content. Because obviously everyone's made this magnificent video, and you know we've all done it. But if it doesn't fly, then you know maybe it's not as magnificent as you thought it was.
Another plug. Within what we always recommend is a real test, learn, test approach. Within YouTube, there's a functionality called YouTube Insights. So for any video that you've uploaded, you can see exactly where that audience has come from, what the demographics are, how they've found the video as well, which is hugely insightful, whether they found it through a link, what was that link, through which blogger might they have found it, can you then go out and contact. What is interesting, and a lot of people don't know, and I have to admit I didn't know myself till about a month ago, is that pretty much on any video within YouTube you can go and find its history and its life. So next where you see the numbers of how many videos have been viewed, there's a double arrow that goes downwards. Click on that arrow, you can see how many views it got, for example, on the home page, or was it posted on a Facebook account. And certainly our advice is to use that to see where audience have fallen off, fallen out watching your video, or maybe they've rewound it. Certainly people like Natalie Tran go through and really analyse what word has sparked a rewind, a replay, or for people to drop off. So it really is like a huge research platform that you can then use to understand the likability of your video.
If you're wanting to see the content into the social networks, your YouTube, your Facebooks, Twitters, Vimeos, TubeMogul's the way to go. So really good. So you've got to create your own account on each one. You upload the video to TubeMogul, put your settings in, and it will do it automatically for you. So you're only uploading the video once, which again, uploading video is also very boring. If you're looking at it from a corporate and government and publishing perspective, you've really got to sit down and look at the strategy of, I often do it with my clients, of January to December, and then go down the different types of video they are, what content you are creating or ingesting, and where you want to put it. So I often talk to clients about corporate site, consumer site, intranet, extranet, your corporate and media partner sites, your social networking sites, mobile, etc. So then you've got some framework in place in terms of what you're creating and what could come in and where it could go, which then makes you work out how to set the encoding profiles so that the encoding profiles do it all for you, so you're not encoding, and then use the APIs to make it all automatically seed through. But it takes a bit of work in the consulting phase, but it saves you a lot more time on the actual doing phase.
Nick brought up before that there's generally an issue around advertising around content that's too short. Is there a right amount of length? Is there any kind of preference for length when it comes to advertising against something? I know YouTube does the lower third ads after about 10 seconds into a clip, but is there a clear kind of preference that you're being asked for?
Again, I think it very much depends on what your audience are and what your objective is with the video. Certainly in the majority of video, actually I'm not across the numbers, but we do find that 2 to 4 minutes is key. You've got to catch the audience and keep it short and snappy. It's the internet, it's not yet at that lean back stage where we're going to sit and have things presented to us. We're able to choose what we want to watch next. Certainly within YouTube as well, we do focus on the user first. So we're very strict at having only 15 seconds on short form content, and we do also cap that at 1 per 7 minutes. So it does avoid the piss-off factor.
All right, I think we are going to wrap it up here. So thank you everybody for having us, and thank you Simon, Nick, and Susie. You've been
Footage will be on YouTube.
It will be on YouTube, and I take it now in 15-minute blocks because that's the new limit.
Yes.
So, hurrah! So thank you everybody. Thank you for having us. Thank you again.
Thank you.